Hello, you guys. Welcome back to the channel. Happy Self Mastery Monday. We are back, ready to get this new month started. I'm really looking forward to sharing with you guys today on some quick tips and things that I do in order to start off the month strong so I'm able to obtain and complete my goals that I have that will move me along to my long-term goals. Now, before we get right into today's topic, do remember to subscribe to the channel, turn on your post notifications, do hit the like button, and do drop a comment below on anything that you would like me to go over, whether if it's things that you are struggling with or things that you want my opinion on regarding how to move along on your long-term goals. Now, let's get right into today's topic. Okay, so starting off with today's topic is basically the start of the month. How do I go about my goals? I know just last week it was January, but I think the most important thing that people could do when the month starts is the first day of the month, today's technically the second, so I did this yesterday. But the first day of the month, sit down with yourself and have a reflection hour. Reflect how you did and how you performed last month and set new goals for this month relevant to the goals that you have overall. And what do I mean when I say sit down and reflect? Well, you should have started the year off, it was January, with your New Year's resolution. And each and every week you should have outlined goals that you wanted to do and accomplish that week that would align with your long-term goals. Now for the month of February, we want to start off even stronger than we did in January, because we no longer have that New Year's resolution feel or New Year's resolution pressure that we did the prior month. So we want to put a healthy pressure on ourselves to still push ourselves along. So reflecting on how you actually performed last month is very important because it'll give you insight on the things that you need to tighten up or the things that you need to maintain. And when you do that, it will be able to give you some type of foundation on how to set this month's goals. We're in the month of February, so it's shorter month for us, so it's really, really important that we take the time to be very intentional, even more intentional month over month on planning our goals and being honest with ourselves on where we fell short so we can plan in a way that would give us the best success. Now, for example, whether if it's your health goals, let's say you wanted to go 5 times out of the week to the gym, but you only were able to do 3 or 4 week over week. Identify what the barriers were in order for you not to obtain the 5 days out of the week. And if it's something like job-related hours, if it's something like you just felt unmotivated, these are things that you can navigate around in order to obtain your goals. So whether you work a 9 to 5 and you have to go to the gym in the afternoon or right before work, those are things that you can do. There's some people that I know that they'll take their lunch break and they'll just go to the gym. Do what works for you. But if it's more of a thing, if it's more about being unmotivated to go to the gym, I can't say that motivation is always going to be there. So find your drive or put something in place to remind you of that goal. So whether if it's you're trying to reach a certain weight that you used to be, put a picture on your screensaver, and every time you open up your phone, the first thing that's going to come to mind is that conviction of you needing to go to the gym to hit your weight goal. Stuff like that. Be creative. Know yourself and understand and be honest with yourself about what's really going to trigger you, maybe for that motivation, or trigger you to do it anyway, even if you don't want it. Even if you don't want to. Now, another thing that I do that I want to share with you guys is, you guys know I'm huge on journaling. I'm huge on writing. So I intentionally do write down my big ticket item goals for the month. And obviously I want my first week to tackle majority of those goals because I'm writing my goals. I feel motivated and I'm in a state of flow, understanding what I need to do. So I use that to my advantage and I plan out at least the majority of my big ticket items for the month in the beginning of the month. So the end of the month feels a little bit easier, but I'm still maintaining the things that I need to do and I'm still planning towards my overall goals. The last thing that I do when planning the month is I prep myself for those goals. For example, whether if it's meetings that I have to do, whether if it's things that I have to film, whether if it's things that I have to address for my business, for my personal brand, or just overall for my health, I prep myself for it. For example, if I know that I have a meeting, let's just say I have a meeting, or I needed to film something and I know there's going to be other people involved. I intentionally reached out to them a few days before the month ended. So one, they're not overwhelmed, but two, I have enough time in order to navigate and plan to what makes sense based off of their schedules, based off of my schedule, and I'm able to maintain a balance but also achieve my goals. And I think that's really important, to be very intentional with your time, but also be very respectful of other people's time that you may rely on in order to achieve your goals. And there's nothing wrong with asking for help. There's nothing wrong with being there. Sorry, Sapphire. Cutie bear. Sapphire is getting a little jealous because he wants time with his mommy. He just got back from my mom's house after being a week away from me. So he's a little bit attached. But Sapphire is also planning his goals. He understands, like, hey, Mom, I want to go out at least for an hour each and every day to the park, not including his daily walks at night or in the morning. But even I have goals for my dog that I put upon myself. So it's important to understand what's important to you. It's important to understand what you want, and it's important to understand what matters overall. And what matters overall is my well-being, my dog's well-being, and my personal growth and my professional growth, and hoping that all intertwines with my overall goal of stability in all endeavors in my life. So I'm going to end it here. I know this is a quick one. If you guys wanted me to go more into detail of what planning looks like, of specific things that I do or specific ways that I go about it, please drop a comment below. I'll see you guys in my next video. Remember, we drop content every Sunday, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. I'll see you guys in my next video. So, bye.